How much money does Jeff Bezos make every second? How two countries waged a war for nearly 50 years without even firing a single bullet. And how this fish lives on trees. Welcome. Let's find out, so stay tuned. Number 1. This is salt, the most underrated ingredient in every kitchen in the world. And this is Korean bamboo salt. It is the world's most expensive salt. A high-quality bamboo salt can cost around $100 for just 250 grams. But why is it so expensive and what is it used for? Since ancient times, Koreans have used bamboo salt, roasted 2 to 3 times for cooking and as traditional medicine for oral care, digestion, and skin care. The salt is made by placing common sea salt from the west coast of Korea inside bamboo and roasting it at a high temperature to infuse minerals from the bamboo and remove any impurities. The process is labor-intensive and hence affects its cost. In 20th century, 9 times roasting process was developed. 9 times roasted high-quality bamboo salt has the highest mineral content and the lowest toxicity level. It is done at over 1000 degrees Celsius. It can cost 10 times more than a pink Himalayan salt. Every step is carefully done by hand. Today, it is used for cooking, medicine, toothpaste, and many other local products. Though there has not been enough scientific study to prove its medicinal values, it still is an important part of the Korean culture. Number 2. Jeff Bezos. Founder, CEO, and President of Amazon. In the present context, his rise is credited to the Internet's age biggest success story. Born to a teenager, then Jacqueline Guise Jorgensen, who was 17 at the time, his biological father had divorced her after she graduated from school, less than a year of marriage. Jeff Bezos was just over a year old at the time. She struggled to make ends meet while working as a secretary and, at one point, didn't even have enough income to afford a phone. She was determined to make life better for her and her son. She eventually married Mike Bezos, a Cuban immigrant who would give Jeff Bezos his last name and step in as his father. Jeff Bezos showed a lot of potential from his early age. After graduating from Princeton University and leaving his finance career, he launched Amazon from his garage in Seattle. He originally wanted to give his company a more magical-sounding name, Cadabra, but was warned against doing so by Amazon's first lawyer, Todd Tarbert, as he believed it sounded more like a cadaver over the phone. Did you know that the Amazon logo has a smile that begins under A and ends with a dimple under the Z, emphasizing to the customers that it offers everything from A to Z on their website? As of July 5, 2022, Amazon is worth $1,114.66 billion. It also created 1.16 million jobs in the world. The fruit of his labor is he makes $2,537 every second, making him one of the richest men in the world. Number 3. High heels were originally made exclusive for men. High heel shoes were first worn by men from Persia during the 10th century. It was made to help the horse rider elevate their feet and give better stability when riding. Back then, majority of the horse rider were from the higher class of society. Wearing a heel symbolized high society stature, wealth, fashion, and military power. 10th century European aristocrats were heavily influenced by this fashion trend. This trend was made even more famous during the reign of King Louis XIV of France. He is also known by the name, King of the Heels. During his reign, it was considered the higher and redder the heel, the more prestige. Slowly the trend died over time and it was only in the 21st century that it became popular and associated with female. Number 4. International dispute for land can be an ugly business, involving tragedy and loss of life in many occasions. Countless war has been fought over a piece of land. And did you know, Canada and Denmark were in a war, which started in 1978 and ended in 2022. While you might not have heard of it, they were in fact in a dispute over a piece of land. The conflict was over an island, far in the Arctic North, called the Hans Island, due to disagreements between Canada and Denmark over the ownership of the island. Hans Island is a small barren island of half a square mile. No one lives on it, but for 5 decades Denmark and Canada have fought to control it. On June 14, 2022, both Canada and Denmark have finally resolved and made peace, and agreed to divide the island along its natural ridge. It was remarked as the friendliest war. Not a single bullet was fired. The conflict actually started in the 1970s after Canada and Denmark agreed to draw their international boundaries through the strait, but they could not agree on who gets to keep the island, as the island is placed between Canada and Denmark, both countries just 18 kilometers away from it, and under international law they both could claim it. In 1984, Canada sent troops to the island and planted the Canadian flag, and left a bottle of Canadian whiskey as a gesture. In a week, the Danish sent their own, replaced the Canadian flag with their one and returned the favor with a Danish snap. The exchange continued for years. Both the countries have put away the differences, and the war is finally over with a signing of an agreement and a final exchange of their finest alcohol. A happy ending. Number 5. Bread. Baked food product made of flour. A major source of food since prehistoric times. It has been made in various forms, using a variety of ingredients and methods throughout the world. The first bread were made during the prehistoric times, and still today it is a major staple food all around the world. Did you know that, before erasers were made, people used bread to erase pencil mark? Yes. Bread was the go-to eraser to rub pencil mark. They would moisten the bread and make a ball and use it as an eraser. In 1770, Joseph Priestley may have discovered rubber's erasing properties. He wrote, "A substance excellently adapted to the purpose of wiping from paper, the mark of black lead pencil." The substance was rubber. But Edward Nain, a British engineer, is credited with the discovery of the eraser. He accidentally picked up a piece of rubber instead of breadcrumbs, a eureka moment for him, thereby realizing a rubber's erasing properties. He marketed the rubber eraser and started selling. Number 6. Did you know? There is a fish that can live on land for up to 2 months? Meet the mangrove rivulus, a species of killifish in the family Rivulidae. Likes to live in muddy pool and crab burrows in mangrove swamps. It is a small fish and can grow to a length of 7 centimeters. It is found in Central and South America and in the coast of Florida. It can live on land not just for a day, but up to 66 consecutive days out of water, which is in itself quite a feat for a fish. It typically spends its days inside fallen logs, breathing air through its skin. It evolved with especially modified gills which allows it to retain water and nutrients, while nitrogen waste is excreted through the skin. They are known to reproduce by self-fertilization. Even though males exist, and are quite territorial in nature, protecting what little space they got inside the log. You might wonder how it gets from one point to another on land. It has another unique talent. It does a tail flip like a champion. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.